more so of holding on to relationships, whether they're intimate relationships or friendships, longer than I should, right?
Mm.
Past their
So,
expiration date.
yeah,
Mhm.
with holding on to them, I just gave everybody grace, right? It was more so of, oh, that's just kind of that's just how they are, that's just how they act, and things like that. And now I'm at a point to where that's no longer acceptable.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of You're Gonna Need a Drink for This, a podcast by Sexy After Kids. I am your host, Apple Daniels, and today we are talking about self-love. What it is, how to maintain it, how to get it, how to keep it for yourself. Before we get into the episode, I just want to remind you guys to please like and subscribe to the channel. That will definitely help us get these episodes out to other people. The algorithm loves when you do that. And go ahead and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we post a new episode. So I'm back today with my girls. You know the drill. Say hi to the good people. Say hi, y'all.
Hi.
Hi,
I
people.
have Lynette and Adrienne Nicole. Again, we're getting ready to talk self-love, what it is, how to get it, how to keep it, how to maintain it, and just where we've been on our journey, and hopefully inspire some other people out there listening, watching, and developing their own self-love. I think as mothers, it's so hard for us. Again, we do so many things on a consistent basis. We're always taking care of other people. We're always looking out for other people. But what about us, right? And I think just with all the changes we go through, the body changes, the physical changes, right? Depending on what age you are, health changes. I think that it becomes really complicated to maintain just that sense of self. And so I just want to offer some good tips, some tricks, some things that have helped us along our journey. And specifically talking to those moms who may be without a partner right now. We're all, at the time of this recording at least, we're all single, right? And so you have those moments, I know I do, where you're like, dang, I really want someone and I wish someone was here. And then I have moments where like, I'm good. But what do you do in those moments when you really want someone and you're feeling unloved romantically, at least, right? You're doing and you're pouring into all these other people, but you're not really feeling like you're getting that back in the way that you would want to. How do you get through that? How do you push through? How do you press through? So y'all know the drill. I'm gonna start with Adrienne got a smile on her face. I'm gonna start with
What
Adrienne.
did I do?
Adrienne, that looks devious.
Nothing yet.
So I'm
I
sorry,
have
Adrienne.
no
I'm just asking, sis, talk to me about, self-love, your own journey through it, your perspective, and if you're comfortable, even some challenges that you face along the way.
Um, for me, when it comes to self love, it's so interesting you talk about this, or this is a topic, because I literally just talked to another group of women about self love, and we all talked about different things that we do. And for me, self love, it took me a minute to get here, right? Everyone has always said, "Girl, your confidence is just high. Like your confidence has always been high." And it has, but I have my challenges as well, right? There was a time where I had to pull back from everything after my last relationship and focus on me. Um, take some time to love me because although, yes, my confidence was high, um, I was torn down in that last relationship. So I had to build it back up to where I was previously. So for me, self love, now that I'm there, I don't think I'll ever let someone get me to a point to where they knock me all the way down again, to where I lose that self love and that self confidence um, again. But now, from a self love standpoint, I put me first before anybody and anything, because that is a part of self love. if you do not take care of yourself first, you cannot be there for others. You definitely need to take care of yourself first. So, one of the ways I do that, I don't know if we want to go right into it, but for me, um, self love, it is just so important. You have to be 100% to be a good mate. You have to be 100% to be a good parent, um, a good entrepreneur, employee, whatever category you fit in. Self love, if you don't love yourself and take care of you first, you can't be anything for anyone else. So,
I 100% agree with that. Okay, so because you went there, so very similar to you. I went through a horrible breakup, like worse than my divorce. And I think this is when we were doing the whole clubhouse thing, and we were doing, and I feel like prior to that, I had an idea of what self-love was. Like I felt like on some level, I'm very confident within myself. I love myself. There's certain things I'm gonna do. But I think after that, and I always say it's pre this person and post this person. And me
mhm,
post this person is very different because my boundaries are different now, right? And the things that I'm willing to accept. And it's translated not just into a romantic relationship situation, but I think it's also translated just in life in general, right? There's just certain things that I'm not going to do. I know that for me, self love is setting boundaries. Like I was a crazy, crazy, notorious people pleaser, right? Because I just didn't want to upset people, my family, my friends, and I didn't want no smoke. Not because I'm scared. I didn't want the headache, right? I didn't want the headache of the smoke, the drama, the this, and people get all upset. And so it just was like, whatever, man. Like just to avoid all that, I don't think consciously I thought I was people pleasing, but I think subconsciously I was, right? But just to avoid all the bull crap, fine, have it your way, no problem. But it was doing something to me, right, internally. And so I feel like now self-love for me, again, like you said, Adrienne, is putting me first. It's setting those boundaries for myself, not in a way that hurts other people, but in a way that makes sure that I'm okay, right? Me first, and then I can take care of everybody else. Because we've said this before. You can't pour from an empty cup. I can't help you if I'm depleted. I can't love you if I don't love myself. And whenever that time comes for my person, my spouse, my whoever, like if I'm not happy within myself and I'm not loving me, like how am I supposed to give anything to him? You know what I mean? What about you,
I
Lynette?
agree.
So self-love for me, honestly, at this big age, within the last few years, I'm just starting to learn it because for so long, I can't say, I guess I was a people pleaser depending on the situation and depending on the person, but I was kind of one of those to where I never really fit in or fit the category of fill in the blank. I wasn't the most likely to succeed according to this group. I wasn't the this to that group. I wasn't good enough for that group. So honestly, I liked myself, but I did not know what self-love was. I didn't know what it really meant, you know. And because of that, as an adult and growing up, like, yeah, mostly as an adult, it's like I kind of became that person where things were black and white. Like, okay, well, if I'm just nicer and I overexert myself, then, it'll be reciprocated, but I also discovered that there are just some genuinely evil people in the world and they will use you, and you're never going to find that self-love through other people. I was always trying to find it through others and whatever have you. And that did not work. So now I'm at a place to where it, I just, like I said, like you said, I'm putting me first. And one thing that's helping me now that I'm learning is purging. And what I mean by purging is I purge people, I purge jobs, I purge things, I purge anything that if something does not make me happy, if I let some, and I have, for a lot of things, I have a lot of tolerance. I'm not a patience person, but I can tolerate quite a bit of things. But after a while, I'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, you know what? This is on the road going nowhere. I'm just not dealing with this anymore, you know? And if it's something that I just have zero patience for because it's just totally not fitting for me, I'm done with it. And that could be a person like, and purging seems to be working for me because it's basically letting me know within myself that I love me more than the BS that say is happening with this person or this relationship or this job or this whatever. So I'm learning to basically get rid of things instead of trying to appease everyone and make things look a certain way to, you know, maybe I'll feel loved if this happens. Maybe I'll feel loved if that happens. You know, I can't wake up every morning. I got tired of waking up every morning being the best Lynette for everybody else. And that was my main wake up point for me.
No, that's big. That
I like that purging people.
Man, I was gonna tap on purging. Go ahead, Adrienne, because I listen. That purging thing, we can go on about that. And I think we kind of touched on that a little bit when we talked about like surviving friendships and we talked about what that looks like and cutting people off. But it really is that self-love thing is saying this doesn't work for me anymore, right? Either anymore at all or anymore in its current state. So you either gotta switch that or we can't do this no more. Right. Yeah. And I think I've reached a point, me personally at least, where I'm okay. I'm okay if it doesn't. And like you said, it's not just because I know we tend to drive it back towards men, but it's not just men. It's friendships, it's family, it's jobs, it's just general things in life. Like if this does not work for me and it's doing something that is depleting me or it's causing me internal conflict and internal harm, then you gotta go, right? Yeah. And that goes back to the boundary thing. But you were gonna say something. Go ahead, Adrienne.
No, I was thinking, like that purging people that hit for real. I immediately started thinking, like, okay, my circle is already small, and it's because of the whole self-love thing, right? Trying to make sure that I put me first. But that purging people, you just hit me right there, Lynette. That just touched my soul because I'm like, okay, do I need to cut even more? I mean, I feel like I'm in a good space. Right now, I am from a self-love standpoint, kind of like Apple, you just said, some things you can't be there and be everything for everybody. So there may be some events I don't go to anymore, or I just can't show up all the time. But that purging people, man, that was deep right there.
That purging people. When I tell you, I'm like, we cut the whole episode 12 minutes in. Self-love, purging people. Everybody got to go back.
Yeah, it's true because the thing about it is, like I said, when you're dealing with you have multiple people in your life, multiple personalities, and Adrienne, like you just said, your circle is small, but sweetie, guess what? It only takes one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You can have the smallest circle in the world, but at the end of the day, it literally only takes one person to mess it up. So I kind of I don't really use that term of keep my circle small because I've had that experience where it literally only took one person. So I'm like, you know what? It doesn't even matter at this point. But and purging, and see where people kind of get that kind of twisted is like it doesn't have to be beef. It doesn't have to be animosity. It's just something that has to happen. Like why am I gonna? Don't you get tired? Didn't you guys have friends when you were younger, maybe high school, maybe even as adults, where that's so and so, that's just how they are, and you're just kind of brushing off their bad behavior with, oh, that's just how they are. But see, I got to a point, within the last, I'll say 10 years, where I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of sick of saying that's just how they are. I'm kind of tired of dealing with your bad behavior. And matter of factly, I'm pretty tired of rewarding your bad behavior by even giving you access to me. Because I had a conversation, long story short, with somebody, I think it was today or yesterday, matter of fact, where it's like people can kind of do whatever they want to you and they can act funny and carry on and so on and so forth. But the moment that you defend yourself, you're the problem. And defending yourself does not necessarily even mean aggressive. You can address the situation. You can say something about the situation. Now it's, why are you tripping, Apple? Why are you tripping, Adrienne? How come you got to act like this and that and the third? Now you're the problem because of their bad behavior. That's manipulation. Do you
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? Like, I can't keep dealing with people who don't have accountability. I can't keep dealing with people who do stupid stuff or do things that's shady or do stuff that they know good and hell well is not right, or even if they think that they're getting away with. And I'm sitting here just like, okay, well, yeah, I see what you're doing, but I'm just going ahead and let you do you. No, you can do you in another zip code. I'm purging. I don't
Right.
care. I
Right.
don't care. Like, I don't
Well,
have to distinguish.
let me ask you this though,
Okay.
because I find that when we are setting boundaries with people, right?
Hmm.
Before you get to the purge, there's always a period. Like, do either of you have a period of grace? Like, I know when I started setting boundaries, people were not used to me being like, I'm not driving out there, I'm not doing this, I don't care about missing the event. Like, oh well, if it and I'm not gonna lie, it really took the pandemic to help me because the pandemic was kind of my excuse, right? We really couldn't go nowhere. And because everybody kind of didn't know what was going on, it was very easy for me to just be like, well, I don't want to be around all those people because I don't know who's
Right.
gonna be there. And I don't know if I don't want to get sick and I don't want, so that was kind of the start of it. But then what I realized was after the pandemic, I got so used to saying no that it was like, well, I don't care if I miss out. I've missed out on a million things, right? And a lot of the bulk of my family, so a lot of my core family lives here, obviously, like my mom and one of my sisters and that thing. But then the bulk of my family still lives in the Bay. So no, I don't want to get on the freeway and drive an hour and a half. And I understand I'm gonna miss, whatever,
Right.
but I still feel like it. I don't want to do it for no other reason other than I don't want to do it. But I think when you first start setting boundaries with people, there is a period where they do kind of trip with you. I'm not saying my family did, I'm just saying in general, like they do kind of trip with you and they don't really know how to take it because they're not used to you being this way. Is there a grace period or is it just you don't like what I'm doing now, you're not on my program, so bye, I'm purging you? Or does it depend on who it is? Either one of y'all.
I personally don't care. You
Okay.
know, and the thing about it is, my people who know me, my friends, my family, whatever the case would be, I don't have to be that person for them to already know. I'm that friend to where people are going to invite me places and they know I'm not going to go, but they invite me because they love me, and that's fine. Some people can actually get me, to go certain places and do certain things, and that's okay. As far as the whole grace period thing, I'm kind of, it is what it is, and I don't care if you like it or not. But again, I'm not really nasty when I implement that, because I'm gonna tell you why I'm like that now. Because for so long, and I mean so super long, I was at one to where I gave people too much space or grace to be human. It's
Mhm.
one thing to give people enough space to be human, meaning people are gonna mess up, people are gonna say things, whatever the case may be. But I would overextend that to the point to where it was like there's just no good reason on this earth why this behavior or whatever's happening should be allowed. You know what I mean? I gave people way too much space for that. So now, and then like after, my divorce and everything else and all these years, I kind of again centered myself. So I got into a good place. But what happened was I got into too much of a good place to where I stopped saying anything at all. And I was just like, I wouldn't say anything. So people were just kind of doing whatever, like, okay, well, she's not going to say nothing or whatever the case may be. So now I had to kind of bring back that balance, like, what we not going to do.com is fuck with me. So, that's kind of how I'm living right now. But like I said, people who are closest to me, I don't even have to show my behind like that. You know what I mean? Because they already know it's nothing personal. I'm an introvert. It is what it is. It takes a little bit longer for me to get myself back to that point to where I'm okay socializing or meeting new people. I can't deal with forced relationships, and I cannot deal with relationships with people in general that are going to cause me too much. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to take that somewhere else. Because I can't deal with that. I'm not her and I don't have to. I know
Right.
what I have to deal with and what I don't have to deal with. And like now I have a massive cutoff point.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Adrian?
I think I was kind of in that same path of Lynette, where I wouldn't necessarily say it was a grace. I didn't realize it was a grace. It was just more so of holding on to relationships, whether they're intimate relationships or friendships, longer than I should, right?
Mhm.
Past their
So
expiration date.
yeah,
Mhm.
with holding on to them, I just gave everybody grace, right? It was more so of, oh, that's just kind of that's just how they are, that's just how they act and things like that. And now I'm at a point to where that's no longer acceptable. I
Mhm.
see your behavior, your piss poor behavior, and
Mhm.
now that I care more about me first, I'm
Mhm.
truly now aware, self-aware of what it is that you're doing and how you
Mhm.
behave because I see how you treat me. I see how you treat others, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't deserve that and I don't have to deal with that. So the cutoff game now, so I guess my purge game is real strong
Yeah.
because I will cut you off at the drop of a dime and it will hurt, but I will cut you off because I'm no longer giving that grace. I'm no longer holding on to those relationships. I feel like as long as it's not physical pain where I've broken something or something is bruised, I'll get over it. It's just my heart and my ego right now. Over time, that will heal, right? And plus, um, my energy is so high and my vibrations are so high, it's easily replaced with another soul that comes right into my circle or my
Mhm.
immediate
Mhm.
space
Mhm.
who
Mhm.
just replaces you.
So let me ask y'all this then, because we all seem to be at this place, right? We're good cutting people off, but there was a process to get there. So mine, I kind of, I'll say it, I kind of took the easy way out. Like I knew I needed to do it, and then the pandemic hit, and that was kind of my okay. Here we
Hmm.
are,
Your
right?
your
And
excuse.
I just did it. What was the process like for you? Like, at what point did either one of you say something has to change? And then what were the steps you took? Because you don't go from, being a people pleaser, being someone who gives your all to other people, putting others first, or giving others more than you're giving. You don't go from that to this like that. It's a process. So, what did
Right.
that look like for y'all?
So I can say what it looked like for me. I think it was because one, I'm an only child. I'm an only child. I am the oldest grandchild on my mom's side, right? And so for me, I think that process finally came into play when I realized at the end of the day, I'm all I got. Friends who I thought were friends, right? Who I would have laid my life down for, I realized would not do the same. Um, family, I don't really fool with them too much like that. I have a couple of cousins that, we tight, right? But then that I think with that process of me realizing that I had to sit back and really dig deep on this and it hurt. I can't lie. It hurt. I cried about it. I prayed about it and all because as I thought about it, I was like, who is that one person I could call that I know that no matter the time, no matter the day, that they gonna be there. When I realized of even of my circle, right? When I realized that I could not write down at least 5 people,
Hmm.
I knew then at that point, oh, it's time. I need to not give people grace like I was giving people grace. I even
Mhm.
narrowed it down to like 3 people. I got it down to 3 in the order of which I felt like I could call some individuals, right? But even those 3, 2 of those 3 within the last year alone
Mm.
showed me that that's not the case. There's
Mhm.
only still one standing of that 3. So it took me a minute to get here because I had to realize that people that I thought were in my corner are really not in my corner as much as I was in their corner.
Mhm.
And so I think that's kind of what pushed me more to stop giving people grace, stop worrying about people other people's feelings and how they may perceive something, and focus on you. Put yourself first and your well being, your mental well being first.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll make it an easier transition when it's time to let that relationship go, to let it go. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the process that it took
Mhm.
for me to get to where I am now. It was not overnight. It took some time and some being hurt and some realization that, girl, you really don't have who you think you have
Mhm.
in your corner. So that's
Mhm.
how
What
my
about
process
you,
happened.
Um, Let me be clear. I'm still kind of working on it because I've kind of been one of those people to where I'm an extreme person. So either I'm not going to say anything at all, or I'm popping off and I'm bringing all of hell with me. I had to kind of find a balance. But the thing about it is, I kind of initially for a while, I started off before I kind of got to that grace period, whatever. I was one who cut people off all the time. And I would always have people tell me, Lynette, you can't just cut people off like that. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I was like, "Ugh, okay, whatever." So then I went through that whole grace thing. And then after a while, because of that grace, is when I became kind of like a ticking time bomb, because I wasn't as quick to pop off and say, yeah, that's not okay. And I don't like that. Or this is what you're not going to do to me, or, have that conversation. Um, so I would hold that in. And I still do sometimes to this day. But see, there's also certain, you can't talk to everybody. You know what I mean? And sometimes you need an uninterrupted conversation, or you have to say what you have to say without being interrupted, or without someone trying to manipulate the conversation. Because I always feel that just because I don't agree with you does not mean I can invalidate you. That is how you feel, but there are too many people in this world who have invalidated me. So all I know is to get aggressive and pop off. Like, I'm going to say what I have to say. You're going to hear what I have to say, because I'm not going to give you a chance to say anything else, whatever the case would be. Kind of working on it, kind of not, trying to find a balance, whatever. But after a while, just kind of realizing with certain situations, like if it stresses me out too much, I just kind of had to get that, you know what, gotta go. And didn't even think twice about it, because I'm very much an overthinker. I analyze everything. I'm a very logical individual. I'm a realist. So I have to process anything that I do. Everything that I do is all itemized before I even do it. I'm very pre-calculated. But with this, I had to stop doing that. I had to just act and say, you know what? This is not good. This has been going on too long. I don't like your behavior. And clearly you're not going to change it. You're okay with the shit. So you got to go. And I mean, again, it's not even a conversation like that. Sometimes I don't even have conversations.
Mhm.
If it's somebody that I feel that I don't care to later on down the line reconcile, I won't even explain to you why I'm just ghosting you. I'll delete everything about you and act like I never knew you. And I'm okay with that. Now, if I feel that maybe later on down the line, right now things are just hot, things are high, whatever the case may be, and we could possibly hash this out later over, some wine or some whatever, and quietly and chill like adults, then cool. I'll give you a kind of a snippet of like, this is the situation, this is where I'm feeling right now, and we need a break, you
Mhm.
know. But generally, like I said, I don't see people, everybody doesn't deserve an explanation. They
I
just
agree.
don't.
Listen, because the way I see it is like this: we all grown. Like at
Mhm,
this point, everybody I don't deal with children. I have my
mhm,
children, right? There may be children in my family; those are kids. But I don't
mhm.
have adult interactions with kids. So
Right.
if I'm at a certain point with somebody, I have to assume that mentally, like you're an adult, you're very aware of the things
Mhm,
that you are doing. And again, without bringing this conversation around the men again, but like when I think about even that with the ghosting, sometimes I just stop talking and I just
mhm.
stop calling. And a block may proceed with that because you're an
Mhm. Mhm.
adult and you know what you're doing. And so
Exactly
if
what
that
you're doing.
doesn't work for me anymore, then I stop talking to you. Period.
Mhm,
Now with
mhm,
friendships, it might be a little bit different because it depends on the length of time. It depends on, if, for me anyway, what they've done warrants a conversation, right? Same thing, obviously, with family. Um, there's certain people that I just, like you said, there's no beef. However, I also just don't talk to you. I'm not quick to return your phone. Like, what do you want? Like, you're calling me. What do you want? Like, really,
Right.
what do you want? Like, we're not good. So, we're not bad, but we're not good either. So, like,
Right.
I'm
How you
not
call
quick
it?
to answer your phone calls. You know what I mean? But again, depending on who the person is, the purge may or may not be what is available. It just
You,
depends.
you know what, Apple? Even with that, for self-love, for me, like I said, like I love me more. Like I've started saying that a lot. I love me
Mhm.
more. Even with that, to me, I had to stop playing the history game. Because everyone likes to play the history game. And I'm not saying you specifically, I'm just saying in general. Like, have you had somebody tell you, well, you owe this situation a little more such and such because of how long you guys have known each other? Or, oh my God, you guys used to be so tight. You guys used to both drink from the water hose together. You owe this a little bit. You at least should say something because of da 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 da. I used to be that person where I was like, yeah, I've known this person for X amount of time. So, I should either try to fix it, mend it, say something, don't just do X, Y, Z. Fuck all that. I don't care anymore. Because, like, literally what you just said, Apple, we're dealing with some very competent, intelligent, grown adults. They know what they're doing. They know that their behavior is unacceptable. Does that make us perfect? Absolutely not. And guess what? Those same people have the absolute option of bowing out gracefully if they don't like it. But for me, myself, in my eye, you know what you're doing. Now, just because I don't call you out on every little thing and chastise you like a child does not mean that I don't know what the hell is going on. You know what I'm saying? So, absolutely not. That history thing, like if it was so historical, we wouldn't even be in that situation because you would not be treating a friendship or relationship
Good
the
point.
way that you're doing if we're so historical. Like,
Right.
play with your mama. Don't do that.
Okay.
No.
So let's
Well, and they should know your ticks, right? If
yeah.
you have that much history, they should know what pops you off and what will
But
set you off
yeah, but
each time.
Adrian, let me tell you something. Even with knowing your kinks, like I can know everything that pushes Adrian's buttons, pushes Apple's buttons, so on and so forth. But there's some blatant fucked up shit that people do. That ain't a button pusher. You're just being stupid. You're being an asshole. You're trying to be conniving. You're trying to be betrayed. Like you're doing some real heavy hitter shit on purpose. This is
I
not
Right.
agree.
well, I'm gonna do this because I know it's gonna piss her off a little bit, or I'm gonna do this and I know
Right.
Adrian might not like it, but it's like, no, this is some real big ticket item shit.
Or they're
None
Right.
just
of it.
selfish. They're
Yeah,
just
Well,
selfish.
it's
okay.
self gratification.
Okay. So let's move because here's the thing. People are trash. Humans, right? They just listen,
It
humans
is
are
what it
humans
is.
are you can't be mad at human for being human, right? And we all have our things and people, but I want to move away from like other people to thinking of self-love in terms of I guess I want to move into self-care, right? So
Yeah.
from a self-love perspective, how do each of you show love to yourself? Like, what are some of the things? So I'll start with me, so you can kind of see where I'm going with this. So I was listening to someone else's podcast on self love, and she was saying that she doesn't believe that maintenance is self love, right? She or self care. She feels like the maintenance of it all, and I want to tap into this because we're all moms and we're all very busy. She feels like the maintenance of your hair, your nails, your clothes, your this, that's not self care. That's maintenance. She felt like anything that you do consistently can't count as self care. I'm on the opposite end of that because I know plenty of moms who, because of mom guilt, do not get their hair done. They don't get their nails done. They don't go out with their friends. They don't
Buy that purse that they really want.
buy the purse that they really want. They don't take care. They don't do the things that make them feel good because they feel guilty. If I get this purse, then I can't do XYZ for my kids. Them kids will be okay. They can wait another month. Like we're not talking rent, lights. We're not talking that mortgage, lights. We're not. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what are you doing for yourself? You work 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week. You got a side business. You got kid activities. You have this, you have that. What are you doing? Because those moments when I go sit in Bella's chair and I get these nails done and I get like one of my the lady that does my pedicure, she laughs because I come in and I don't get the basic, right? I go in there and I'm like, give me the platinum, baby. I want the spa, I
That's
want the
me.
wax, I want the hot stones, I want the
Mm-hmm.
towel wraps, I want all of that. This is my moment. I put on the massager and I sit back and I let her do her thing and I mind my business. And she laughs. She's like, oh, Apple, you take this, get care of your feet. And I do. And I do.
Right.
My toes, my nails, my hair, my listen. One thing I'm gonna do is, oh, wig looking ratty. I'm gonna get another one, or I'm gonna get a weave. Finna get a bust down. If I'm not getting a bust down, I'm finna get another wig, or I'm finna. But
Mm-hmm.
these are things that make me feel good. Me feel good when I get up and I look at myself and I've done all this and I've done my maintenance.
Mhm.
But that's my self-care for me.
Right.
Those are my moments to decompress. And it don't have nothing to do with my kids. It don't have nothing to do with my other responsibilities. Are they luxuries? Yeah.
Mhm.
But am I getting rid of them? No.
No.
Like, I
And
don't
you
care
shouldn't
what
have
the
to.
situation look like. Things I'm gonna figure out how to do: get my nails done, get my toes done, get my hair done. That's
Mhm.
it. And find me a cute outfit to wear for whatever. Or have myself a nice meal because I want to. Even if I'm not going out with somebody, I'll DoorDash a nice restaurant here,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Find me a movie on Netflix, sit down, kids is with their father. I'm here by myself, pour me a glass of wine, DoorDash delivers my meal, sit on this couch, have my meal, watch my movie, and I'm to myself. But those are my self-care moments. Those are my moments of decompression. So I guess what I'm asking you guys is, what does that look like for you? What are the things that you do for yourself to show yourself that you love you? That listen, like I'm gonna take care of you and it's gonna be okay, regardless of whatever else is going on outside.
I'm gonna say this. I'm still learning. Okay. For me, it's a little hard because kind of like what you just said, I've kind of lived that life to where my life has been, I've been raising kids for what, my son's will be 26 this year. So give or take a few, 26 years, right? Um, yeah, because yeah, my daughter will be 17. So yeah, I've been raising kids for the better part of 26 years. So that's all I know, as an adult. Um, and my goal has always been to make sure that my kids were good. I live for my kids. Do they have things that they want? Do they have things that they need? Do they have extra? So even like you said, when I do little things for myself, at first for a long time, it was like, oh, but you could be getting, whatever that. Even when I go to the nail shop, my daughter goes with me, which I don't mind. We have our mother-daughter time all the time. But yeah, she'll go to the nail shop with me. I have not found or figured out what I like to do solo. Um, you know, because I don't know. Like I said, I've always had my kids with me. My son's grown and gone, but on his own journey, doing his own thing. But I still have my daughter. And she's like, that's my little best friend. She's not my broke best friend because that girl ain't never broke. But we do everything together. We go shopping together. We go to the nail shop together. We go out to eat together. Like, so I haven't really just journeyed and ventured off and figured out what I like that yet. I don't know. I don't know.
So
I
as
really
as you
don't.
were talking, this is what I realized, because y'all both have girls. So your perspective is going to be way different than mine. I have boys. They not coming and
Mhm.
they don't want to come. You know what I'm saying? So like my ability, especially now that they're older, at least teens or whatever, my ability to be like, okay, y'all gonna sit at home for a little bit and I'm gonna go get my massage and my this. It's different. They don't want to come. I remember being a teenager and my mom would go shopping every Saturday. I'm in the car with her because I want to
Mhm.
go. I want some new
Mhm.
clothes. I
Mhm.
want that new tape. I want that new. So, Adrienne, you talk to me about your perspective because you also have a daughter, right? So it's gonna look very different for both of you than it would for me.
It would be interesting because, well, I do have the sons, right? The four sons. But my daughter, she is not the girly girl into that pedicure, manicure. Like I have to kind of force some of those things. Now she did start getting the manicure thing done, for like special occasions, and she come with those long nails. I call them claw catchers. Uh, but but she really doesn't. We really don't have that kind of self care time. We have more so of we'll go out to eat. We always have mother daughter dates. So for us, that's a form of self care, self love, personal time, mommy daughter time that we would have together. And that's also me taking that time to be able to pour into her, to talk to her, see where her mind is, what's going on with life and things like that, because it gets a little different for those girls, and they try to tell you not to compare your girl versus your boy, because it's hard for kids, black kids, period, whether it's a girl or a boy.
Mhm.
um but with my daughter, she has kind of defeated all the odds, right? She's 19 now. She doesn't have any children. She's about to get ready to go off to the Air Force. And at her age, when I was at her age, I already had four, right? So I take that time to spend with her as not only a form of self care for us both, but love between both. Um,
Mhm.
her self love, me pouring into um, her self worth of her understanding. That's one of the ways that I share with my daughter. But as far as myself, I'm going to be honest. You talked about maintenance and some of the other things that you saw someone else talk about before, and I agree. They, although they say it's maintenance, that maintenance is a form of self-care. It means I'm doing the things because I care about me,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right? So I'm maintaining. But when it comes to me personally, I'm going to be honest, because I do have so much stuff going on all the time, and we only get 24 hours in a day. I
Mhm.
like the quiet time, the
Mhm.
small pieces of time that I could just get to myself, where my brain just shuts off and I'm not thinking about anything else, is a form of self care where I show self love to myself. And I do that in two ways. In the mornings, so I have this mat that has this Bible scripture on it. A friend bought me before. And so I will lay that mat down. I try to get out of the bed to do it, because sometimes I'll just lay in the bed and will doze back off. But when I get up in the morning, I try to get on that mat, and I will just lay there and just, you know, speak my peace over my life and others around me that I come into contact with. It shuts my mind down, but I'm also giving thanks at the same time, and also showing that I am willing to open myself up for any other blessings that are coming my way. So
Mhm.
that's one way of my self care, just having that quiet time to get myself prepared for the day. Another quiet time, well, sorry, there's two more. Sorry, so I have three. Another quiet time is I will run myself a hot bubble bath with all my Epsom salt, get my iPad going with some music, and get my drink. I turn off all the lights because I like to do it at night. I turn off all the lights in my bathroom and just light candles only. And I will stay in that thing until my fingers turn all wrinkly. So that's
Mhm.
one other form of self care that I do for myself, just to wind down. And then my third one is working out. So a lot of people think that you work out to lose weight and stay healthy and all that. No, I work out to shut down my brain, because when I'm
Mhm.
working out, I'm not thinking about anything else but how the hell, how much more longer I got on this damn exercise. Is the hour up, the 45 minutes up, however much time I have planned for myself for that exercise or that personal training, is it up? I am thinking about nothing else. I'm not thinking about work. I'm not thinking about my business. I'm not thinking about my kids. I'm not thinking about any other human. Anything is when I can shut down my brain. So that's the biggest thing for me, shutting down my brain.
And so let me tell you that working out piece is so big. I can't remember what the hormone it releases is, but when you're working out, I notice when I'm not working out, I get into a mode of, I don't want to say like it's not depression, but it's like just really down. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like I can tell when I need to get up and move. I can tell when my body is like, hey, like you need to get up, move something, go for a walk, go outside, get some fresh air, walk on the treadmill, do a dance routine and get your mood, get that mood boost going so that you can keep moving. Like that's another big form of self-care that people I think don't see. We do talk a lot about weight loss. I mean, I know I do. I talk all the time about wanting to lose weight and wanting to do this, but it is so much more than that. I notice when I go long periods of not being active, not getting that workout in, not doing certain things, it starts to play on your mental. And then
Yeah.
everything else that's going on starts to impact too. You know what I mean? But like when I'm working out, it's not that these things don't exist, but I'm able to just, it's funny because I'm looking at my nails thinking about you talking about claw catchers. But when I'm working out, I'm able to focus a little bit more. I'm able to move, just kind of get those things going and think different. Like it does something to my thinking where,
Hmm.
now the problems, it's not that they don't exist, but it's that I can kind of coast through them or outline them a little bit different to see like, okay, what do I need to do now? Now it's like, boom, I got this. I can, whatever, whatever. But when I'm not working out, I'm tired.
Yeah.
My back hurt, my body hurt. I don't want to do nothing. Leave me alone. I'm in a bad mood. But like it really does, to your point, do something.
Yeah.
I had another question that was on the tip of my brain and I forgot that quick what I was going to say, but I think the most important thing as we're tapping into just self-love and self-care is doing what's right for you. What is it that makes you feel good? Like in your body, in your soul, in your spirit, whether that's purging people, whether it's working out, whether it's tapping into new hobbies. What are some, I know what I was going to ask you guys. I want to talk about rituals really quick and then we're going to start wrapping it up. Is there something, well, so Adrienne touched on her ritual with the bath and the candles and the setting the mood and the decompressing. I want to know if you have one, Lynette, also, but from both of you, I want to know, do you have a schedule? Because we're busy. I find I have to schedule things in. I'm getting better about writing them down, but even in my brain, I got to look at my calendar and go, okay, I got this many meetings today, and the kids are at school, so I can work out here, or I can go to the grocery store here. No, the grocery store isn't self care, but getting that one to do thing off of me. I know when I'm going to do it. So I know when I have time for these things. When I'm getting my nails done, I'm booking my next appointment, right? When I'm thinking, like I'm always kind of in calendar mode, which doesn't
Hmm.
seem like it would be a self care activity. But I think in the life of a mom, any mom, pick one,
Yeah.
it's so important that you are scheduling yourself in the same way you would schedule in other people. So I want to know, do you schedule out your rituals or is it just like I feel like this right now and so that's what I'm gonna do?
I'm trying to get better at it
Okay.
because I'm an itemized person. So everything in my life literally is a list, not in my phone, but like literally I'm the to-do list. I still write it down. Shopping list. I still write it. I'm a lister. Right. Um, so when it comes to squeezing in things that I like, and I thought about it when Adrienne was saying what she was saying as far as working out in the whole nine. Like, like I'm a martial artist. I've been a martial artist for the better part of like 35 years.
Mhm.
Um, and that is something that I love to do. Love to
Hmm.
do. Like and what you were saying, Apple, like my body feels good, my mental state is right. Like, and it's just because it's kind of like, that's my little thing, that I've always done. My daughter does it with me, of course, but it's not something that I don't want to say I don't share it with her per se, but it's not like we're going to the nail shop. This is something that came super many years before her, and I really, really enjoy it. But because of the millions of hours that I work during the week, and God only knows what else is going on in my life, trying to schedule that in has been hard. massively hard. And like you said, I've noticed the decline in
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things with me because of that, you know. So I'm trying to get better in figuring that out and being more aware of like, okay, Lynette, we're cutting this off right now. And you know, you're gonna go to karate tonight, you know, whatever the case may be. So that's a big karate is a huge part of my life. Huge part of my life. And like I said, the last couple of years have been kind of tough, finagling jobs, money, and then the whole entrepreneurship thing, you know, when I went 100%, you know, freelance and figuring that out and trying not to sink. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've had my days, I've had my months where literally my head was underwater and all I had to breathe was a straw in life, you know. So I really didn't, it's almost like you don't have time, or in your head you feel you don't have time for self-care because you got to hustle, you got to get it in, and you got to do it now, and you'll sleep when you're dead, you know. But I have to really look at it differently, especially being a single mom. And even though my daughter will be 17 next month, and she really isn't maintenance like that because she's pretty independent, you know, it's still being a mother. I still have
Right.
responsibilities. I still have to cook and clean and do whatever else and all these other activities in school and so on. So I'm working on it. Find one thing, be it like Adrienne said, a bubble bath, working out, go do martial arts, female martial arts. I mean, it's so cool. Like, I'm like, that might just change your whole life, you know, because you're like, oh, that's kind of dope, you know. I'm working on that. So even if people just pick one thing, because people tend to think that, oh, I have to do a million things. The things that you do as maintenance, like you said, Apple hair, nails, and all that stuff, it's like Adrienne said also, it's part of self-care. Because my kids are 9 years apart. So before, you know, when I just had my son, going to the nail shop was self-care for me. Going
Mm-hmm.
to the hair shop was self-care for me because everything else revolved around being, at that time, a wife and being a mother for so
Right.
many years. So that
And I
was
think I think it was like that for a lot of us, you know, when
Mm-hmm.
you're wearing these multiple hats. Let me ask you really quick, Adrienne, and then I want to start to wrap things up. So what is it like for you scheduling these things, or do you? Because you have a very busy schedule.
Yeah, I try to schedule those bubble baths though. I try to be consistent on a Wednesday night
Mhm.
for in the midweek because I feel like, you have that, it's the hump day,
You
right?
have
It's
the
kind of
halfway
in the
between.
middle of the week. And so that gives me that wind down to reset to get push me through for the rest of the week. And then if I can't get to it on that Saturday, definitely that Sunday. But I try to do it on Saturday after I do any workout for that day. That morning,
Mhm.
I'll come in. The first thing I do is I go ahead and get that bubble bath in. So I do try to get those scheduled on the books every week, those 2 days.
Cool, cool. Well, I think this is a great conversation. You know, I think it's one that we can go on and on about for days because there's so many different aspects to self-love and self-care. I want to read some tips really quick, just to help the viewers kind of along their path. So, some ways for you to start implementing self-care and self-love within yourself. Number one, stop comparing yourself to others. Number two, don't worry about others' opinions. You know, we've talked on that. Three is allow yourself to make mistakes. Remember, your value doesn't lie in how your body looks. You know what I mean? You are who you are right now. You got to find that love within yourself with where you are and being okay with that. And if there's something you want to change, whether it's gaining weight, losing weight, a little nip tuck, whatever it is you got to do, go ahead and do that. We talked about this at nauseum. Don't be afraid to let go of toxic people. Learn how
Hmm.
to purge in life, people, places, things, whatever it is. Process your fears. Those things that you're worried about, that you're concerned about, really process that. Sit with yourself. You know, think about, why do I feel this way? Where does this come from? You know, where could this have stem from? Is it childhood trauma? Is it whatever those things are? Make sure that you kind of tap into that and process those fears. Trust yourself to make good decisions for yourself. You are with you every single day. Nobody else has been with you from day one, and nobody else will be with you until the last day but you. So you got to think about that. You got to trust yourself. You know what's good for you. Take every opportunity in life to present or create your own reality. Every opportunity. You're not missing anything. What's meant for you is going to be for you. Put yourself first. That's another thing we talked about ad nauseum today, is making sure that you're not pouring from an empty cup. You first, not in a way that hurts other people, but in a way that makes sure that you're okay and you're developed. And then once you're good, you can go back and get everybody else and bring them along. You want to feel the pain and joy as fully as you can. So again, processing those emotions. Things are going to happen. Life is going to life. It's going to be what it's going to be. Go ahead and process that pain. Figure out where it comes from. Figure out how you're going to get over it. And then also revel in the joy and enjoy those moments that are wonderful and happy and good for you. Um, Exercise boldness in public. Be yourself. Can't nobody do that. You're grown. You know what I mean? Nobody can do anything to you. Exercise your boldness. Be who you are. Be confident in who you are, and be okay with who you are. See the beauty in the simple things in life. There's so many things out here, and they don't all have to be like this very complicated, complex, thing. Enjoy the simple things in life. And then finally, be kind to yourself. You know what I mean? Have grace. Give yourself grace. We all make mistakes. We're all growing and learning consistently, and it changes. Who I am today is not who I am 2 years from now, is not who I was 2 years ago, right? So you want to just be kind to yourself through all the experiences, all the challenges, all the everything. So I want to thank you both ladies for joining again today. I think this is a really great conversation. I think we have given our viewers something to talk about. If you have gotten this far in the episode and you're still with us, I'd love for you to chime in the comments. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions for myself or Adrienne or Lynette, let us know. And we'll make sure that we get those questions answered. Always make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn those notifications on so that you can be notified when we drop new episodes every single Wednesday. If it's something different, we'll be sure to let you know. And I'm going to raise my glass. I did a lot on my glass today. But you know how we do. We're going to raise our glass. All right, y'all. Cheers to more life, more love, more happiness. Be kind to others. Most importantly, be kind to yourself. And we'll see y'all next time.